Hello, once more, everyone. Welcome back to the channel, back here on YouTube. Here doing the Week 16 NFL predictions. 7 good games on the schedule this week here in Week 16. All have playoff implications on the line for the most part. As we get into it, teams for playoff spots, fighting for playoff spots, teams fighting to get playoff positions as well. It all starts on Thursday night after going 4-3 in Week 15. My first week since Week 12 when I finished 7-0 in Week 12. My first week since then with a record over 500 since I did fall behind in Week 13 going on 7 and Week 14 going 3-4. But 4-3 didn't cut it. It does cut it a bit with a good week, but I want to do better. Okay, so let's get started. Week 16 all starts on Thursday night up in Seattle in the Pacific Northwest with the Seahawks. Mr. Sam Darnold and the Seahawks going against Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Two teams 11-3 in position in this game and matchup, and also two teams out of the NFC West. A matchup where the winner will be in first place in the NFC West and also have the number one seed in the NFC at the end of the night. Could it be a game where it's a shootout and the game can end up in a tie? Yes, there's a good chance of it, but also it's a game where two teams fighting for first place and one's going to be the number one seed. Clear path. It looks, the NFC West looks like the NFC North from last year, where you had the Vikings and Lions had the two best records in the NFC, and the Vikings had to go on the road in the first round and lose to the Rams in a neutral site game because of the wildfires in LA last January. So I think it's kind of like that scenario because these two teams are top two teams in the NFC. I think you could maybe in the offseason or in the future when they do the next collective bargaining agreement, you can make the argument that it should be the best 7 teams seeded, not with division winners or so and so. But, it is what it is. But this matchup should be a fun game to watch. And today, I think the Rams and Matthew Stafford might come out on top of this, but I think this one's going to be a close one. I think the Seahawks find a way to get a close win in a creative ways. So give me the Seahawks on Thursday night with a weird win and a win to get first place in the NFC West in the number one seed at the end of the week, at the end of the night on Thursday. Moving on, Saturday. We have a doubleheader Saturday. First game, Eagles. Jalen Hurts are going to Washington play the Commanders this week. Well, we know Commanders one of those teams I did predict to be a playoff team this year. A team I did think that could compete with the Eagles, potentially for first place in the NFC East. But not to be. It's the Eagles and Jalen Hurts who come in. Eagles, though, as of late, have been a little bit disappointing, coming up short the last few times I picked them. Back in Week 14 when I picked them to beat the Chargers, they lost 22-19 in overtime. And then, I have to go back to Week 13 where I picked them as well. They lost 24-15 to the Bears on Black Friday, which hurt me. That was the week I went on 7 in. But look at the Commanders and the Eagles, two teams in a division race, which looks interesting to see. It's going to be the Eagles, I think, that come out on top. The Commanders this year, J.D. Daniels has an injury, so he's not, who knows how it's going to happen. Commanders are going to do the rest of the year. Eagles, though, they're making a play to try to get into divisions playoffs. They are a playoff team at the moment, but what seed will they get? Will they get 2? Will they get 3? Will they get 4th seed? I think they'll come in, though, on Saturday, find a way to get the job done against the Commanders on the road in Washington. Moving on, though, Saturday night. Yeah, Saturday night in the spotlight, we have the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love without Micah Parsons, who's done for the year and with an ACL injury, and the Bears. They head to Chicago to take on the Bears and Caleb Williams, two teams, which we saw 2 weeks ago in Green Bay, where the Packers won 28-21. The reason the Packers won that game was the Bears had issues on offense in the game. Caleb Williams just threw a pass up, trying to get a touchdown to tie the game up. Couldn't do it. It was picked off. And then at the end of the day, that game hurt the Bears a bit. Since then, Bears came out and won over the weekend on Sunday against the Browns. And, the Bears bounced back, The Bears are just one of those teams that have been creative. With the team, they're in first place in the NFC North right now. There's a chance. The Bears just need to do what they need to do. For the Bears to win a division title, they need to win one the next 3 games to win a division title. That's it, one of the next 3. If you win all 2 of the next 3, or maybe all 3, there's a chance you can compete for a number 1 seed in the NFC this year. I think the Bears might do that. I think the Bears should do that over the next 3 weeks, compete for the number 1 seed. But also you have the Packers as well, who are trying to compete for the division title. The Lions have a slim shot. Packers are the second most team in the NFC North that have a chance. And I think it's going to go now this weekend in Chicago on Saturday night, where a game that's going to be crazy. I think it's going to be just as crazy as the first time these two teams played, when the Packers won 28-21. But here's the thing. Without Micah Parsons on defense, I think that's going to hurt the Packers a bit overall. I think Caleb Williams is going to the Bears are going to have to focus on the Packers defense. No matter what the Packers throw at them, the Packers can still throw players at them and beat them with the defense. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about which quarterback between Jordan Love and Caleb Williams make the least amount of mistakes. And with that being said, I think the Bears come away with a close one, with a win, as I think they beat the Packers and lock up a chance to win a division title. They only need to win 1 game, though, the next 3. But I think they need to win all 2. I think they need to win all 3 of the next 3 games for the Bears if they're going to be a number 1 seed, potentially. I think the Bears get it done with a close win against Green Bay and clinch a playoff berth. Moving on. Saturday to Sunday, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield going to Carolina, play the Panthers, and Bryce Young. Panthers now the team in the NFC South to look at, or maybe watch, because the Panthers have the playoff spot in the NFC South. With Bryce Young, Buccaneers have not been feeling good lately. Lost Thursday night to the Falcons, a game I picked them to win. And a few weeks ago, I picked them as well. When did I pick them last? Oh, I didn't pick them a few weeks ago. I picked them last Thursday to get a win. They lost to the Falcons. This time around, against Panthers, Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield, they're pretty much throwing away the NFC South race, giving it up like crazy. Here against the Panthers on Sunday, I think the Buccaneers are going to have to play their style of football to get a win. I think the Panthers and Bryce Young, a young team, quarterback, and you're number 2 in the NFL. Can he get a team that wins a postseason game or make the playoffs? I don't know. I think this game is going to be one of those games that's close. At the end of the day, though, I think Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers get back on track and find a way to get a win on the road in Carolina on Sunday. Moving on to Denver. The Broncos, Bo Nix, first place in the Broncos, 11-game winning streak on the line. Having the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence come to town. Jaguars, the new alpha dog in the AFC South, with the Colts falling off a bit, 18-16 against the Seahawks, and the Colts a few weeks ago also falling apart with the 36-19 loss to the Jaguars. Games I did predict the Colts to win last week and week 14. This week, though, the Jaguars, though, it's going to be an interesting task. Going to play Bo Nix and the Broncos. Jaguars in first place in the AFC South have a chance to get a win this week. How tough is it going to be for the Jaguars? It's going to be tough. Broncos and Bo Nix come in with a big winning streak. Broncos, number 2 seed in the AFC right now, behind New England. If they can get a win, they could be a top dog in the AFC, potentially. Overall, the Broncos and Bo Nix, they're a really good team this year. For the Jaguars on their side, they just need to play their football with Trevor Lawrence, not make mistakes. Keep Trevor Lawrence healthy the rest of the year. For Broncos, Bo Nix, you can win this game. Win this game, you are pretty much in the AFC West champions. Broncos are good this year, no doubt about it. With that being said, I think the Broncos find a way to get the job done and win again. So give me the Broncos over the Jags on Sunday. Moving on to Detroit, where we have the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers 1-1 away from being a winning season again. And the Lions, Jared Goff and the Lions, going against the Steelers. We know Aaron Rodgers, he's played the Lions many times before in his career when he was with Green Bay. He knows how to win. It's a matchup that he's going to be happy to play against in Detroit. And Aaron Rodgers knows how to beat the Lions in Detroit. Done it many times on Thanksgiving. Did it on Thursday Night Football with the Hail Mary a few years back with the Packers. And just knows how to win in an environment like Detroit. And it's been no different this time around because it is in Detroit. For the Lions, this is going to be their toughest task of the year the rest of the way home for the Lions. They do have the Bears, though, the rest is once as well. But for the Lions and Steelers, it's going to be a matchup where the Lions' toughest task is the Steelers this week. And that's going to be a tough one for the Lions this week. Unfortunately, I do see the Steelers and the Lions going head-to-head with a tough matchup, close game. At the end of the day, I think the Lions and Jared Goff find a way to beat Rodgers and the Steelers on Sunday. Moving on to Monday night. Our final game on Monday, final game of the week, San Francisco 49ers, Brock Purdy. They head to Indianapolis, taking the Colts, and Philip Rivers, the 44-year-old Philip Rivers, who lost by 18-16 to the Seahawks on Sunday. And I'll just say this. You bring a 44-year-old quarterback out of retirement to replace Daniel Jones, who's hurt for the rest of the year. You have to play this 49ers and Brock Purdy, who's a young quarterback. 49ers, a younger quarterback than Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers, first game in 5 years last week. Over 4 years, I guess. And who knows what to say. But in this matchup, it's a game of inches. These two teams are going to be interesting to see. 49ers, this could be their game. If they win, 49ers need to win the next 3 games, I believe, personally, to get a playoff spot. For the Colts, they just need to focus on trying to get into the playoff spots now. They were in first place for a long time, held it down for multiple weeks until they fell apart last week and the week prior. And the week prior to that, 3-game losing streak for the Colts, which has been a tough one. Overall, I think the Colts and Philip Rivers are going to have a tough week again. I think the 49ers are going to keep it close at the end of the day. I think Brock Purdy and the 49ers find a way to win on Monday Night Football in Indianapolis. So give me the 49ers and Brock Purdy on Monday Night Football. With that being said, quick recap I'm taking this week starting out in Seattle. On Thursday night, I'm taking the Seahawks and Sam Darnold to beat the Rams and Matthew Stafford. In Washington, I'm taking Jalen Hurts and the Eagles over the Commanders. In Chicago, I'm taking Caleb Williams and the Bears with a surprise win over Green Bay and Jordan Love, as I think the Bears clinch a playoff berth. In Carolina on Sunday, I think the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield come away with a win against pressing on the Panthers. In Denver, I'm taking Bo Nix and the Broncos over the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. In Detroit, I'm taking Jared Goff and the Lions over the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers with an upset. In Indianapolis on Monday night, I'm taking Brock Purdy and the 49ers over the Colts and the 44-year-old Philip Rivers. There's your 2025 Week 16 NFL predictions right here. With that being said, I'll see you with the NFL prediction quick version here coming up in a few minutes. And with that being said, I'll see you right back here next Tuesday, a day before Christmas Eve, for the Week 17 NFL predictions. 2 weeks left after this week. Hard to believe we're getting closing in on playoffs. I'll see you next week in Week 17 on Tuesday. Bye for now. Have a good day. Stay safe. Please remember to watch, like, subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends to do the same if they've not done so already. Also, don't forget to hit that notification button below so you know when there's a new video on the channel. With that being said, have a good day. Stay safe and peace out. I'll see you right back here, Week 17 next Tuesday. Bye for now, everyone. Have a good day and stay safe out there. See ya.